Hi, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about the word religion, because religion is a very interesting topic for me as a Buddhist monk. And I think it's one that's very misunderstood in the world, both by people who claim to be religious and by those who say they're not religious. And we see that in general the word religion comes to be a dichotomy between whether you believe in God or do not believe in God. So in terms of religion, we have the theists and we have the atheists. And then we have this sort of gray area in the middle where people are agnostic. And we can see it all in some way or other has to do with belief in God. And I think people would be shocked, many people would be surprised at least, to find that there's an entirely different way of looking at religion than having to do with whether you believe in God or not. In fact, it's clear that the word religion may have very little to do with a belief in God. The word religion could simply mean being bound to a lifestyle, being bound to a way of living. It could have to do with monastic life. It could even simply come from the word religions, as opposed to negligence, which means caution. So negligence, the opposite of negligence, which is to be cautious and to be careful. And this is coming from a Buddhist perspective where we believe very much in being careful and in being bound to certain ethical principles. So we see that when the dichotomy is between being theistic or atheistic, the whole idea of morals is somehow problematic. It's problematic for the atheists in finding a reason not to do bad things. And as a result, their morality often becomes relative. So in certain instances one might not kill, in other instances one might kill, because there's nothing intrinsically wrong with killing. Why? Because there's no belief in God, who is the ultimate source of morality, according to both the theists and the atheists. For the theists, it presents a problem because you've got this dilemma. Is something wrong because God says it's wrong, or does God say it's wrong because it's wrong? And either way, you have a problem. If you say it's wrong just because God says it's wrong, well, then the question is, what if God says that it's okay to do this, to do that, or to the other thing? Is it just because God says it's right or God says it's wrong? Even if it's clearly a wrong thing to do, does that make it right just because God says it's right? And if not, then what's the need for God? What is it that makes something wrong and what makes something right? And in the tradition that I follow, there's a whole other way of looking at this, and it has to do with, of course, the meditation practice and the effect of things on a person's mind. The effect that killing and stealing and lying and cheating and taking drugs, taking alcohol, the effect these things have on who you are, and the effect they have on the world around you, the effect they have on your relationships with other people, with other beings, and on your journey, your spiritual progress. So we look at religion as a very important thing. It's something that we bind ourselves to, we feel bound to. It's the way we live our lives, and we live our lives in a very cautious way, trying to do everything based on wisdom, based on mindfulness, based on clear awareness of what we're doing. Is this a good thing to do? Am I doing this because I'm simply angry, or because I'm addicted, or because I'm looking down, or I have looking at other people condescending, or jealous, or stingy, or have all these different unpleasant states of mind? Or am I doing this to help myself, to help other people, to create peace, to create harmony? And so this is how we judge, and this is how we live our lives. We live our lives in what we consider to be a very religious way, which has nothing to do with the question, this seemingly meaningless question. To us, the idea of whether I believe in God or don't believe in God is really ridiculous. It has nothing to do with what makes me a religious person. My religion is very much how I live my life, who I am, what I do, and my own spiritual progress, as well as the benefit that my life has on other people for their spiritual progress and other beings. And so the belief in God is really nothing to do with religion in my understanding of it. It's only one way of looking at religion, and it's very irrelevant to the way I look at religion. So that's just some thoughts for tonight, and I thought I'd share those with everybody. So thanks for tuning in. All the best.